Guys, I'm not even gonna lie. I recorded the whole video without even pressing record. Okay, so today we're gonna be learning about the bow, which is my favorite weapon from Splatoon 3 so far. And I've noticed a lot of people that in matches, in Turf War especially, not so much in ranked, they use it in a strange way. And I'd say the way that I see it most commonly used is either, if we come up here, they use it as a charger, which, you know, it's okay to use it as a charger. But if you're going to use it as a charger, I suggest maybe switching to Reflux instead, because that has a charge hold and works pretty much exactly the same as this, except without the exploding bomb feature, which we'll go over later. So with this weapon, I see it used like a charger like that, or people try to flank with it and they do this. Mostly in Turf War. And I also did reset my level. That's not how you show that. I reset my level, so obviously I'm not playing against the same very powerful, more knowledgeable quick learners. But if you were to do that in an actual, you know, high level match, or you're playing against me, this is what's gonna happen to you. You're gonna walk in front of someone, or even, you know, let's say you're behind them, and to simulate turning, I'll just turn like this. It works, right? It works. But you probably wouldn't be that close to them, and if you are, they'd see you, because it's a third-person game, so they'd see you. They'd see you. If I get like right here, they would be able to see you, and they would kill you. They would, well, if they're using motion controls, they'd turn around just like this, and then you'd be done for. So to simulate this, I'll probably start from about right here, and I'll be right here. You would get pretty close. Sometimes it might work, but that's if they're standing still, even then. Which there's no way to simulate the movement of someone doing something like this, which is a pretty common move I see in the ranks I'm in, and even something I myself do. If we switch to my secondary, something you might see them do is, let's say this is a person and they're coming up to me. Right? Now they might already be shooting at me, sure, but then I would just notice their shots and I would move even sooner. So let's show what that would look like. Now sure, that's not perfect, you know, like I did miss a few shots right about here, but the same general rule would still apply, that doing something like that isn't exactly the safest option, because number one, they can hear you. Your ink may show up at the back of their screen, like you can see here. If this was a player, probably would have turned around, killed me. So the way that I would say you should use it is, well, first let's go over some basic features of the weapon. Okay, if we come over here, we'll demonstrate it right here. First thing, actually no, we'll go right here. We'll go right here. We'll do a horizontal flick, or not a horizontal flick, a horizontal shot, which is just a normal shot. You just shoot, just like this. Simple, easy. You can see it paints a lot. Similar to a roller, actually, in my opinion. It paints pretty similar to a roller, where it's got very thick, consistent lines, except for at the beginning. Something a roller wouldn't have. Now, if we do a vertical flick, or why do I always say flick? I'm used to Splatoon 2. A vertical shot, what you would do is jump and shoot, just like this. Your lines will be just as consistent, As you can see, still got a bit of that, you know, at the beginning it's not as consistent. If we shoot both of them, just like this, and just like this, you can see how inconsistent it actually is. It's not very consistent at all. So you definitely don't want to be using this to escape situations. I'd say that for sure. This is definitely not a weapon where you should be in a position of disadvantage. You should not be in the front lines doing this at all, because you will die if someone catches you. What I would say to do is follow a little bit more along the path of the charger, where you see them, you know, kind of just being further back. But I'd probably say not so far back to the point where you are where the chargers would be. If you're where the splatlings are and things like chargers and stuff like that, it is okay to be there, but I wouldn't recommend it because I feel like it doesn't exactly play to this weapon's in-game strengths. And what I mean by in-game strengths is, you know, a strength that is realistic. So another feature of it is that you can do this. That is not an in-game strength, I would say. Because why would you be close enough to someone where you could even get away with doing that? What I would say is an in-game strength is being able to do this. Being able to be far away, being able to still hit your shots consistently and incredibly fast. And if your aim is good enough, you may even be able to kill them like this very, very consistently and never have to play with charge shots ever. So let's get into charge shots, actually. Let's demonstrate it. No, we'll do it on them. So a charge shot will never kill unless it hits. It will not kill. As you can see, does not kill. No matter, even if I get closer to them, not that that would make a difference, doesn't kill. What does kill is hitting all three at the same time. Not even two at the same time will kill. Remember that. Hitting two will not kill. It does a lot though. And the importance of it doing a lot is the next thing I'm gonna show you. Well, actually not the next thing, because we still have to go over a few things with this, right? This right here, let's wait for it to recharge, is a very good technique for getting those 3 shots in, instead of, you know, just aiming for the ground, which is a perfectly viable strategy. You can just aim for the ground and you probably will get some kills and some very good assists and help your team out a lot, which is something I'll go into later. But for right now, let's focus on how to hit just normal shots, actually. So if we come up here, I'll just show you guys a little unique thing before we start this part. As you can see, I cannot hit him. I know I can't because there's no X. There would be X's if I could hit him. But, plot twist, as you can see there, it goes over the thing, it goes over the line anyway. So, you actually can hit them. Even though it says you can't, you can. And, if I'm lucky here, which it doesn't seem like I am, I'll try one more time. There we go. You can get a kill like that. You can get a kill, a direct kill, without even being in range. And the way that that works, I think, is something I will use this wall for. Nope, not that wall. That's way too close. Alright, we'll go about right here. No, that was a bit too close. Alright, right here. As you can see, I'm not hitting the wall at all. But if we get closer, you can see it just pins up against the wall. It doesn't drop into the wall, it pins up against it. So what I think is going on is that they're not counting your drop distance. Or, your drop distance. Because it doesn't just go straight down. It goes in more of a diagonal curved motion downwards. So instead of just going across and dropping, it goes more like this, in an arc. So it's only accounting for what would actually hit the wall and just hit it face, just like that. So if we clean up here, I can show you this. As you can see, doesn't get close to the wall, right? For that. You can see it's still not hitting the wall, but look at that. Look at that. That's because it drops. I can't really demonstrate that. It would take way too long for me to get over there and it would explode by that point. But I think I started right about here, right? That's where I did this at? Yes. If we do a horizontal flick, this demonstrates that it drops even more. So that's a good demonstration of that kind of whole thing. So just know that you can go a little bit further than you actually think you can. And if we do a bit of, what's it about right here? Yep. We can actually see how far. So at the beginning of your first, you get probably, since you're right here, you get probably like another person's worth of range. So not really too much, but it doesn't really matter either way because of the bow's other feature, which is the fact that it can explode and hit things anyway, which is something that you should practice if you want to learn bow. You should probably practice being able to, like, you know, just hit these, which isn't really that hard. I'm doing it right now, as you can see. But another thing you can see I'm doing is I'm not fully charging it. That is a very important feature of the weapon. It is what separates it from the chargers probably the most, is the half charge shot. This is something that you will see noob bow players never do. If they have not used the bow, they won't know the true power of being able to do this, because they probably only played Turf War, which is not important in Turf War. But in the other game modes, let's say this is the tower right here, it would be almost crucial for me to be able to be like, hey, you cannot go this way by doing this. Just like this. You don't even have to hit them. You don't even have to hit them. Because they'll see that and they'll just back up. Because no one wants to get hit by that. No one wants to get hit by 3 exploding charge shots. So they'll back up, you know, they'll get away from the tower. You can also just throw it onto the tower. Something that I found is that the tower isn't very good at defending against these things. If we get right here, about right here, maybe put it like right there. As you can see, you put it on maybe the edge of the tower, and it'll probably still hit them. You can probably demonstrate it better here, possibly? I don't know. I mean, it's about the same. But it's because the way that Splatoon registers these things is by saying, is it blocked off fully? So if we aim right here, it doesn't do anything. If we go about right here, you can see it kind of clips through the wall a bit. At the very top, a little bit of the bomb clips through the wall. And because it registers that as being available right here, it'll spread to him. Which is another thing to learn in Turf War, or not turf war, in pretty much any game mode actually. If you see a bomb and you notice that you can, let's say it's a splat bomb and it's like right here, you can probably just come right here for like 2 seconds. Let's say you're right here, you see it, oh, gotta go under right here, and then immediately come back up. And that's it. You'll be able to get away. So that's pretty much it for like charge shots. Just remember, try to focus on, you know, being able to do stuff like this. Being able to wall people off. I'd say don't worry too much about vertically walling people off like this. Don't worry too much about that. It's not actually that important in a normal scenario. The only times it's really important is if, let's say, let's just show off this. It would be impossible, as you just saw, he made it there before I could even get out of my ink to charge up a shot, to wall him off like this, to wall him off horizontally. But let's say you know the movements, you know everything, you'd be able to wall them off before they get there. So what you want to try to do with the bow is just be ahead of the game, you know, really be able to say I know, or I have some level of confidence in where my enemy may go. You know, let's just say, for instance, I think that this guy's gonna move left or move right. Then I might put it here. You know, I might put a wall here to block him off, or maybe I'll just do a full charge and put it right there, and then they'll walk into it. You know. But I would say learn your times. That's really important with this weapon, is learning the amount of time things take, which is something you will learn naturally. As you can see, I'm not even paying attention to when I get my half charge, and pretty much every time I'm getting it. It's just because it becomes muscle memory to know when to let go of that button and have it come out and be ready for you to, you know, grab at that kill. Another important thing with a charge shot, this is the last thing before we move on to the next thing, is that you have a half charge that still shoots those bombs. You only need the white section to be visible. If it's gray, you get no charge, you get no bombs. But if there's even the slightest bit of white, it'll give you the bombs. Before I go into a real match of Splat Zones and show how this thing is going to work, another thing is Killer Whale. You still got your lasers, they still go through the wall, but as you can see, they move, which is more the Stingray coming in there as they move and target enemies throughout the area. They lock onto them instantly. You don't have to press anything, you don't have to do anything, you just put it there and it'll automatically do its own thing. So you would like to, in a normal scenario, you would like to use this to displace. And what I mean by that is, or displace or force them to retreat. If they were displacing, let's say we're here, and we shoot it at this guy when he's right there in the middle. Now, you might have to move a separate way as this guy. He might choose to go right, you might choose to go left. And that displaces them and opens up a spot for your team to eliminate anyone who is left over from the sides, while you and maybe another teammate focus on the objectives, or go for a wipeout by killing what, 2 people go left, 2 people go left, 2 people go right. Or you can use it to force them to retreat, and the way you do that is you'd shoot it and they'd want to back up into their base. They would still displace, but they would displace all to the same area, and they would more just displace from the objective. So if this was the tower, you put it on the tower, they're all going to maybe move this way. And the reason why this is different and called a retreat instead of called a displacement is because if they were displacing, they might go this way, they might go over here if this was an area they could go to, instead of just moving backwards into their base. Maybe in a normal scenario, they'd probably move up to a high ground position from their base to try to keep control of that tower no matter where they are. One thing I think I forgot to add is that you should be pretty much a respawn beacon for your team. They should be able to comfortably jump to you most of the time, if not all the time. So as you can see here, just fishing for kills, not really going for anything in particular. And when I see that the zone is no longer ours, I am displacing them, or trying to at least. And as you can see, it worked. Pushing them out, and just making sure that my team is okay. This guy right here, probably a threat to my team. This arrow spray, definitely a threat to my team. He's in arrow spray and splat zones. Why would he not be a threat? This also requires a lot of faith in your teammates too. As you saw, I didn't destroy the wave breaker, which is because destroying it would have taken time away from other things. And I have faith in my team that they're capable of dealing with a wave breaker, which, as you saw, all of them were. There's a crab tank. I don't like crab tanks. Want to get rid of those. The arrow sprays back. Try to do a little bit of damage to him. Maybe if the teams were more aggressive, I might go for killing Wavebreaker, breaking Wavebreaker, because it would be more helpful. It would actually assist me in a lot of ways, but it doesn't here, because I don't need to. These are the kind of medals you want to have. You want to have medals that are more supportive. You don't want to, like, if you have the highest amount of splats, whatever, that's okay. But you want to have things like this. I didn't have too many kills, but you definitely can't say I didn't contribute in a meaningful way to the team, which is what's important. You want to contribute as much as possible in your teams. So, yeah. In summary, like I said, it's a more supportive weapon that focuses a lot more on displacement and just overall trying to disrupt the enemy team's peacefulness and overall team quality. It doesn't really matter if you're getting rid of the team that much. It just matters that I'm doing damage to them. Because this right here, that's enough for my teammate to take care of them, which is what you want to be focused on. But that's about all I have to say. A very fun weapon, very basic weapon. You don't have to really work too hard. Just sit back and relax. Enjoy the peacefulness of being in the back and not really having to worry too much about the front lines. And that's about all. So I'll see you guys in whatever my next video is. This is the part where you like and subscribe.